Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to our webinar. My name is Karen from Telmar Electronics International, and today I'm going to introduce you with Antonio Perez, which is the Sales Director for Latin America and the Caribbean area from NVT 5Reach. Before we start, please let me remind you, at the end of the webinar, we're going to do the interaction section where you can type your questions to our panelists. Please feel free to participate. And at the end of the afternoon, you're going to receive an email with a copy of this presentation and special prizes just for our attendees on today's special webinar. Antonio, do you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Karen.
Hi, how are you? Good morning.
Good. Good morning.
You can start whatever you want.
Okay. Thank you, Karen. Hello, everybody. Good morning, and thank you very much for taking a little bit of your time to join us at this webinar. As Karen said, my name is Antonio Perez. I am the Sales Director for Latin America and Caribbean for NVT 5Reach. NVT 5Reach, maybe some of you might be familiar already with what NVT is. NVT has been for many years the leading company when it comes to video and power transmission systems for CCTV. NVT 5Reach is the result of the merge of two companies, NVT and 5Reach. 5Reach is a Canadian company that about a year ago bought NVT. 5Reach is a company that comes a little bit more from the telephony world, but the concept is about the same. The concept is about offering Ethernet and PoE transmission systems, long-range Ethernet and PoE transmission systems. This is what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to offer you a few systems that basically can help you and your customers to do a migration to IP in many cases where you already have some kind of cable infrastructure, existing cable infrastructure. In many cases, when the distances go beyond the 100 meters, about 328 feet, which is the standard for Ethernet transmissions. So under Chariot, you can see here, Chariot is kind of a little bit of the concept under which we offer you a family of three switches. You know, a Chariot is something that can transport you somewhere, and kind of in Chariot, the key of Chariot is the last three letters, IoT, Internet of Things. So with NVT 5Reach solutions, what we offer you is not only a system that will allow you to use with your CCTV cameras, but something that will allow you to use with any kind of Ethernet and PoE data transmission. So that will apply to cameras, it will apply to IP telephony, it will apply to access control, access points, IPTV, any kind of data and PoE transmission. Okay, we're able to do this basically with a family of three different kind of switches. I'm going to talk to you about those today. Basically, the first one is the CLEER and EC switch family. The CLEER family offers a 24-port managed switch, which is the switch CLEER, and a 10-port unmanaged switch, which is the EC10. Basically, with a series of transceivers at the end, at the camera end, those are switches that will allow you, first of all, to leverage existing Coax infrastructure. All those customers, they already have an analog system in place with Coax cables, and they are thinking of migrating to IP. They can do so without having to change the infrastructure. Plus, they can extend the distances up to 600 meters. All right. Next, switch that we are going to talk about is the PoLRE switch. The PoLRE switch is a switch that comes also in a 24 or 48 port managed switch or an 8-port unmanaged switch. This is a switch that it applies maybe a little bit more to IP telephony, access control, while the CLEER switch uses Coax and gives you 100 megabits per second, full duplex, and it gives you about 30 watts of PoE per port. The PoLRE switch gives you about 10 megabits full duplex per port and about 15 watts of PoE. That means that that's more than enough usually for IP telephony, for access controls. In this case, remember, we are using only 2 wire, one pair. You can use it for cameras too, as long as they don't go over 10 megabits and the power consumption is no more than 15 watts, okay? And last, the Flex switch family. The Flex actually is a brand new product. It just became available about a couple of weeks ago. In this case, it's also a layer 2 switch, managed switch, that in this case it uses either 2 pairs or 4 pairs. And in this case, it's going to allow you to go up to 600 meters. So this is a perfect switch, a perfect solution in those cases where maybe your customer already has an existing analog installations with UTP. They're using 2 pairs or 4 pairs for each one of the cameras, and they want to migrate to IP, and the distances go over 100 meters. Or for any other new application, again, where the distances are 200, 300, 400, 500 meters. Many cases, many people at that distance, they already start to consider or to think to use some kind of a solution like a fiber or wireless. Again, you can do it in a much easier and cheaper way just with UTP with our switch Flex. All right. A little bit about NVT, NVT5 Bridge. You can see here we have a great partnership with many or most of the manufacturers in the industry. Not only in cameras, you can see here with Hikvision, Axis, Bosch, March, Samsung, any of those, but also I don't know if any of you work with IP telephony. I know sometimes it's a different world from security. There are many integrators that they do both. So in case any of you work with also IP telephony, just to let you know, we have with Cisco, with Unify, Avaya, NIC, with some of the key manufacturers. Okay, these are some of the awards that we have received. Our products have received both in the security and the telephony industry. And here are some of the case studies on some of the success stories that we had. Those success stories cover pretty much every or any vertical market that you can imagine. We have a lot of projects in government, in university campuses, in banking, pretty much at any kind of solution that you can think. Okay, so let's start first with the CLEER and EC10 switches. What happens in many cases, as I told you before, when a customer already has a site where there is existing Coax infrastructure, in many cases or most of the times, those runs are over 100 meters or 300 feet. What happens with that customer is thinking of migrating to IP. Obviously, there is an investment in the IP solution, in the IP cameras, in the NVRs, in the software that you need for that IP migration. But in many cases, the most expensive thing in that migration to IP is the investment in infrastructure. We're talking about removing the old cable, installing new cable. We're talking about labor, professional services. If the distances are more than 100 meters, there are 3, 4, 500 meters. It means that every 100 meters you need to put an IDF closet with IDF power, with IDF cooling. So again, sometimes that investment in infrastructure is what really makes that migration to IP really expensive. That's where the CLEER and EC10 switches come in place. Basically, the CLEER 24 or the 24 port managed switch, again, is a 100 megabits full duplex per port managed switch with a GUI interface with 30 watts of PoE per port. You're going to need at the camera end a device, an adapter, which is called the EZ-Link. I will show you now what the two options that you have for that. You have 24 downlink ports. You have a management and console ports. You have two Ethernet, gigabit Ethernet and fiber ports. And most importantly, when it comes to power-wise, it's proprietary of our switches. Basically, it's a switch that allows you either 500 or 1,000 watt power supply. Is hot swappable, meaning that any issues, any problems that you have with your power supply, you just unscrew it, remove it, and put a new one back. Power sharing, you can rack up to 4 of these switches. I will show you a picture now. You can daisy chain them. That way, it allows you to share the balance, to balance the power that those switches are giving you, and also allow those switches to work as redundant power supplies, which means that any of those fail, all the other ones act as a redundant power supply. Okay. So again, where you had an existing coax infrastructure with your analog cameras, with your DVR, in 3 very easy, simple steps, you can do that migration to IP real quick. You set up your 24-port CLEER switch at your head end. You rack it, you configure it. It's very easy to configure, and you connect your CLEER to your NVR. You just test that locally. You connect your existing coax cables to the 24 BNC port, and at the other end, the same thing. You just connect your existing coax. You disconnect it from the camera. You connect it directly to the EZ-Link, and then just with a simple patch cord, you can go directly to your, again, IP camera and any kind of IP service. It can be voice over IP, it can be IPTV, it can be your laptop, it can be your access point, okay? So again, that migration to IP is done in a very quick and simple and inexpensive way, all right? This is a little bit of the diagram or a standard solution. As you can see here at the camera end, you can, or the IP device, you have 2 options: either use what's called an EZ-Link, which is a single transceiver, or use what we call the EC4. The EC4 is a 4-port transmitter. The EC4, what allows you is to, using only one coax cable, send on that only coax cable up to 4 cameras or 4 IP devices. Imagine in the example I was telling you before, that customer already has a number of analog cameras. They want to migrate to all those cameras to IP, but they want also to add some additional IP cameras in places where there was nothing before. All right. For those new cameras, what you can do is, instead of installing a new cable, you just bring them, consolidate those new cameras to a point where you already have an existing analog camera with coax, and then using the EC4, you can consolidate all those, the one old camera and the 3 new ones, consolidate using only one cable to send upward. Okay. Usually, you're going to be able to send your data and send your PoE directly from the PoE switch, as you can see here at this diagram. There's going to be cases if the camera consumption is higher than those 30 watts. And this is important. Here you have a graphic that it shows you the distances. Again, these switches, they give you up to 30 watts of PoE per port. Of course, with distances, you're experiencing some loss. But with, let's say, with our RJ59, which is the most commonly used coax cable, that would allow you to get up to 17 PoE up to over 500 meters. With an RG6, you can get those 17 watts of power up to more than 600 meters. Okay, so in those cases, if you are using a camera that uses more than 30 watts, or because of the cable loss, you're not getting enough power, you can always, as you can see here, use a power supply and power directly from the or next to the camera. Okay, here you can see the connection that I showed you earlier with a chain in the back of the units. Again, you can rack up to 4 of those units. You can stack them in a rack for power sharing, for balancing the load of power, and for power redundancy. All right. All right. The EC10, as I told you earlier, is a 10-port and managed switch. It has exactly the same features as the CLEER. It has also 100 megabits symmetrical full duplex. It gives you exactly the same 30 watts of PoE per port and 600 meter reach. The only difference is that this switch is not manageable. All right, is the only difference. All right. Other than that, again, you can use it for smaller applications, maybe. Of course, it's a cheaper solution than using the CLEER 24. And again, you can also power directly from the switch or directly through the link next to the IP device. All right. This is a graphic that tells you a little bit of the limitations of the distance depending on the kind of wire that you are using. You can see here again, the blue line is the RG59. You can see how it can get you about 17 watts up to 1,700 feet, which is about over 500 meters. All right. So a little bit of the advantages of using our solution. Again, a key thing is that we are offering a 100 megabit full duplex solution. Full duplex means that 100 megabits is guaranteed either if you are transmitting 10 meters or 600 meters. There are other solutions in the market that offer 150 megabits, 200 megabits, but those are half duplex, which means that it's going to give you that bandwidth at the beginning of the transmission, but as the distances increases, you're going to see how that bandwidth is decreasing. So again, to guarantee the best performance for the most demanding IP cameras, you really need to use a full duplex solutions like ours. I will explain a little later some of the features of our managed switch, our GUI interface. One of them is that you can remotely reset each one of those cameras. Just by a simple click next to each one of the cameras, you can remotely again reset those cameras. So you don't need anymore to do a physical reset. You don't need to send anybody sometimes to get a crane to get up to reach the camera and reset those physically. You can do that remotely through your GUI. All right. It's very important again that to have a GUI interface like the one we have, which is going to give you all the basic information that you need, or the number of receiving packets, transmitting packets, number of errors, all the information, if it's unicast or multicast, what kind of stream you are using. It's going to give you pretty much all the information. So in case of any issues, any problems with your installation, you're going to be able to provide our technical service department, our tech support, all the information you need for a much easier and faster troubleshooting. All right. Security in the network is key. Okay, we provide that also through the GUI with a feature that allows you to log individually each port. Okay, just by a simple click, if you clicking next to each one of the cameras will allow you to log that port, meaning that only the camera that is connected to that specific port, that camera with one specific MAC address, is the only device that the switch is going to recognize. All right, you cannot, nobody can disconnect that camera and try to connect, for instance, a laptop. That port is going to be locked. All right, so this is again a key feature for the security of your system. All right, this is to me a very important slide. Today, one of the key things when it comes to IP installations or IP migrations is the fact that usually each one of those companies, you're gonna find the main network, the local area network, which is usually called the profit and loss network, which is managed by the IT team. All right. Okay, that network is it's called the profit and loss network because it's really what helps the productivity of the company. All right. When that IT team is told that there is a security team that wants to install some IP cameras and they want to be part of that network, usually they're not very welcome. You know, that IT team is only thinking that security team or the telephony team is kind of like invading their network. They're using their bandwidth. So using our solution, in a way, we present that as a way to extend your network. Okay, extending your network means that there's going to be a security team that with their own switches, they're going to be managing that protection network, that security network, all right? The IT team, just with a simple cable, they're going to be able to connect and tap into that security or protection network, but not the other way around. Just with a simple firewall, it's going to avoid that security team gets any kind of access to the profit and loss network. So again, what we are doing is creating this extended network, managed individually, independently by the security team, extended to the point that the IT team can access that network, but not the other way around. All right. Okay, power. I already told you before. One of the key features is the hot swappable and redundant power supply. Right here you have a comparison. Here at the left, you have this column where basically summarizes all the features, all the advantages I just told you about our switches. Again, 100 megabits symmetrical full duplex. It's a layer 2 management managed switch with all the features of a layer 2 management switch. Remote switch management, power control, etc., etc. If you compare this solution with other you can find similar in the market, you're going to see that there is no other solution that offers in one product so many features. So again, if your need is just to extend the Ethernet and PoE maybe for 2 cameras or 3 cameras, maybe you can find some other solutions that are simpler. Okay, we also have that solution I will tell you about now. But if you were talking about a bigger installation, and I can give you a couple of examples of success stories. We just won a project in Mexico with the government where they're migrating 8,000 analog cameras to IP using Coax. Imagine a solution, a job, an installation of that magnitude that can only be accomplished with a really enterprise-grade switch like the CLEER switch. Or in Colombia, we just won a project to migrate the main public bank in Colombia, Bank of the Republic. They're going to migrate 800 cameras. Okay, that can be accomplished only with a switch like our switch. All right. One of the key things also in our switches is that in many cases they can allow you for a partial IP migration, which means that if you want to migrate IP and you have a large number of cameras, you don't really need to do it all at once. You don't need to incur in the huge expenses of having to change your infrastructure and do that migration all in once. And I will give you an example. Probably many of you are calling from the Caribbean. We have a project going on in the Caribbean, in Bahamas, with Paradise Island Hotel and Casino. Okay, they had over 2,000 analog cameras. They started to think about migrating to IP. Obviously, migrating to IP 2,000 cameras all at once is a very expensive proposition. What they decided to do is do a partial IP migration, which means as those analog cameras are, completing the life cycle, they're dying, what they are doing is, and sometimes 10 a month, 30 a month, is they are changing those analog cameras to IP cameras, okay? So it's 10, 20, 30 at a time, at a month. And with our solution that they can do that. They don't need to worry about changing any kind of cable. They just put a switch, they buy the new IP camera, they buy some of those easy link transceivers, and they are just doing that migration to IP. Okay. Here at the right, you can see some of the advantages. Again, I told you about reducing the infrastructure cost. That's one of the key things. Sometimes one of the key things is avoiding the business or network disruption. There are installations, and sometimes I'm thinking about like prisons or casinos or hotels. One of the key things is that you cannot have really like people working at that jail or that hospital for 3 weeks just changing the cable. You need somebody to can get there in and out quickly. So if that installation or that migration to IP, it can be done in only 1 day or 2 days instead of 2-3 weeks. That's a key factor for many of those end users. All right. If you have only one camera, you want to extend the distance, you can always use the Easy Link, the adapter 1-to-1 at each end, all right, or 4-to-1. You can see with the EC4, the 4-port transmitter, with only one cable, you can set up to 4 cameras or 4 IP devices, all right? All right. The switch POLRE. Switch POLRE is a switch. It's a layer 2 switch, 24 or 48 port, or an unmanaged 8-port switch. The difference with the CLEER is, first of all, you are using only one pair, I mean 2 wire, and it's going to give you 10 megabits full duplex. It's going to give you 50 watts of power. So you can see you're getting less bandwidth and less PoE, less power. Basically, it's because this equipment was designed to be used, as I told you, with for IP telephony. But you have cameras that are less than 10 megabits, and the camera consumption is 3 watts, 5, 6 watts. You can perfectly use this unit again to do your transmission. In this case, the distance limit is about 365 meters. All right. The concept is exactly the same when it comes to migrate to IP, even if it's cameras or if it's an an IP phone is what happens if you already have like an IP telephony based on two wire, want to migrate to IP. What do? Are you going to need to change all your infrastructure? No, with our switch, you can use that two-wire infrastructure that is already in place. Okay. So again, we have a 24 or 48 port and managed switch with their 2 giga Ethernet and fiber ports, exactly the same things that I told you about power. Okay, and you have a little bit here of the diagram. All right. And last switch I'm going to tell you today is the flex switch. Actually, this flex switch just became available about 2 weeks ago. Switch flex is a switch that allows you to use either 2-pair or 4-pair to extend your Ethernet and PoE reach up to about 600 meters. Exactly the same as the CLEER or the POLRE. You have your downlink port. In this case, the difference, again, you are going to use an RJ45 connection to use with either 2 or 4 pairs. Stacking ports, you can manage console. You have a management and console ports. You have 2 giga Ethernet and fiber ports. It's exactly the same when it comes to power, 500 or 1,000 watt power supply, swappable power sharing, exactly the same as I told you earlier about the CLEER and POLRE switch. So here you have the basic diagram. Again, we're giving you 100 megabits for duplex. The difference here is that flex switch, while the CLEER switch was giving you 30 watts of PoE per port, in this case, we're giving you 50 watts out of each one of the ports. All right. Here you have the diagram how in some cases, if the distance is less than 100 meters, 300 feet, you can go directly from the camera or IP device to the switch. It works exactly as any other PoE switch. If the distance is over 100 meters, same thing that with the POLRE or the CLEER, you're going to need an adapter. In this case, it's called the Flex Link adapter. Here it shows an FX4, which would be a 4-port transmitter. This unit is going to be available in a few months. At this point, the only available equipment, again, it became available a couple of weeks ago, is the 24-port switch and the Flex adapter. Again, in the future, we're going to have also the 4-port transmitter. All right. And same as the CLEER, you're going to power either directly from the switch or you can power from the Flex adapter. All right. It's very, very simple. All right. Same thing about the switch. Okay. Here, again, I'm gonna stop. I know you're gonna get a copy of this presentation, so you can go through it. This is a little bit of the features of this Flex switch and kind of the benefit that comes with each one of those features. Again, having a 100 megabits full duplex per port gives you a support to any kind of megapixel or HD cameras. You don't have to worry about bandwidth. In this case, bandwidth is not going to be an issue. Extended reach over 2 or 4 pairs. That eliminates, in many cases, the need of IDF closets. Again, you're going to have a 600 meter transmission point to point. You don't have to worry about putting a repeater every 100 meters. Again, is point-to-point transmission. 500 watts or 1,000 watts hot swappable power sharing, AC and DC. This gives you power redundancy. Again, one of those switches fail, the other ones are going to take care. Okay, etc. I'm not going to go all through it. You can just review later. But pretty much all the features that give you this layer 2 switch. As I told you, this is a layer 2 switch, so pretty much it's going to give you all the capabilities, all the features that a layer 2 switch give you through our GUI interface. Some of them I already told you. It's give you all the port details, so you have exact information of what kind of bandwidth you are using, the number of packets you are transmitting and receiving, the number of errors. You have all the power information, how much power is the switch using, how much power you have left. You have the uptime information to tell you exactly for how long has that specific camera been up and running. So if there's any problem and issues with that camera, it's going to tell you exactly when it stopped working. You can manually enter all the part descriptions. You can individually manage the power on and off per port or universally. You can, again, retrieve all the packet information, downlink port summary. As I told you, for security, for safety, you can log each one of the ports individually. It's going to give you all the SNMP details. So again, if you have any issues, just copy, paste, send it, call to our tech support department. You're going to have a really quick and easy troubleshooting. As any layer to switch, it's going to allow you to set up in very 3 steps a VLAN. And again, all the features that you usually get with a layer 2 managed switch. All right. Just to finish, a few of more like commercial questions. Our equipment, this switches, they come with a standard 1-year full coverage warranty. Includes advanced replacement, software upgrades, unlimited support. Additionally, you can purchase either 1-year or 5-year additional upgrades or a lifetime full coverage upgrade. Just to let you know, we have a promotion right now with anybody who buys our switches from now till the end of 2017. We're extending that 1-year warranty to 3 years. Okay, so giving you a 2-year warranty. If you buy those products right now, they come with a 3-year warranty. All right. All right, we are offering also to our partners what we call our ACE program. Our ACE program is a program that wants to help you, to help our partners to promote our solution. I'm not going to enter in much detail. If you're interested, I will send you the information. But basically, that ACE program includes, first of all, you can buy a demo unit. You can buy a demo unit at a very reduced price. That demo unit can be either a 24-port CLEER switch, a 10-port, it can be the flex, any combination of the managed or unmanaged switches that I told you. You can buy those units at a 76% discount of list price. So really, really, really cheap. All right. When you buy that demo, the key thing for us is you have a unit that you can use as a proof of concept. What is a proof of concept? Proof of concept is the possibility that when an end user, maybe a casino, a bank, a university in your territories, one of your customers, they suddenly get interested in that solution. By having the possibility of installing a demo unit and have it running maybe for a few days or a week, is a key thing for them to make sure that that's a perfect solution. We have some statistics that tell us that about 90% of end users who do a proof of concept that are interested in our products and they are able to install that in their sites, end up using and buying our solution. Doing a proof of concept for us, let's say in the US or Canada, is very easy. We have some units that are allocated for that. We can ship them UPS or FedEx ground. The customer can install them, have them running for a week or 2 weeks, and when they're done, they can send it back. Doing that in other countries, like maybe in the Caribbean, it's much more complicated. It implies a lot. Very expensive shipment. It implies some logistics with customs. So for us, the key thing is in each country to have one or two key partners that have a demo unit. So when someday maybe the Bank of Jamaica calls me and tells me, hey, I really like your solution. Do you think I can try? If I have a partner, have an integrator, say in Jamaica, that I know they have a demo unit, I'm going to put them in contact. So they're going to be first in line for any kind of projects that come here. All right. Second, every partner that buys a demo unit, we're going to give them for their first project an additional 30% off on their cost. What does that mean? With that 30% off, first of all, pretty much allows them to pay for what they have paid for the demo. All right. Plus, they give them a lot of margin, either for negotiation with the customer when they are competing with other customers, or they're going to give them that margin to increase again the margin on that sale. All right. And third and last, for any other projects that you guys work on, we're going to give you project registration. We're going to give you a special discount. All right. If you're interested, I will send you the details of those margins. It depends on the volume of the project, but you can get up to 16% on your cost of a discount when you register our projects. So again, this ACE program is a program that really allows or helps. We want to help you to win more projects. All right. So if you're interested, again, I will send you more information about this program. Project registration is very easy to do. It takes about 2 minutes. It's done in our website. All right. I would recommend you to use our website. It's a brand new website. You're going to have a lot of information there. All the brochures, all the data sheets of the products I tell you today, videos, you're going to find everything at the nvt5reach.com website. All right. I recommend you to use to visit also our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel, we're gonna find a few very supportive videos that tell you a little bit of our applications. It's really interesting. All right. And here is my contact information. Again, I think Karen or Silmar, they're going to send you a copy of this presentation. In that presentation, you're going to have my contact information. So please, in the future, do not hesitate. If you have any issues, any questions, or any projects that you are working and you want to know what is the best solution, you want to know how to register a project, either call me, either write to me, Skype me, any kind of way you have to contact me, just please do it. All right. And again, just to finish, as Karen said, you guys are going to have this presentation available. All right. I'm going to send her a copy, and I think she's going to send a copy for you of this presentation. All right. So this pretty much ends the presentation today. Karen, I don't know if you have somebody has any question. We have a few minutes left where I can answer your questions either on writing, or maybe you can speak up with your microphone, and I will be very happy to answer your questions either now or later on. All right. Karen?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah. No, I don't receive any question. I don't know if anybody wants to type it now. You can do it. Or if you want to email us, you can do it at latam@silmarelectronics.com also. I think everybody is very clear, but if you have any question, you can just contact us at this email, or let me put you the email from Antonio.
Actually, the email was in my one of the one to last slides. There you have all my contact.
Yeah, I have it here. Don't worry. I'm gonna just paste it here in our box, and just remind to our attendees, you're gonna receive a special email with here is your email. Here it is. There you have it. You're gonna receive an email from us this afternoon. I think 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. It's gonna be the hour. You're gonna receive this email with a special pricing for these switches. So please feel free to contact your Silmar representative, sales representative, or write us at latam@silmarelectronics.com. I'm receiving one question here. Very informative. Thank you. Thank you, James, for taking the time and being here with us. Thank you very much. Well, I think that's it.
Okay.
Thank you, Antonio. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you. Thank you to everybody. And again, you have my contact information. Please do not hesitate to contact me with any questions that you might have. Okay.
Thank you, Antonio. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.